If you are a longtime Vegas lover who once considered Harrah's your trusted home away from home, then brace yourself because this reunion might just break your heart. Do you remember the golden days of the Holiday Casino and the riverboat charm of the 70s and 80s? Back then, this place was famous for its vibrant floor, genuine hospitality, and that perfect center strip location. It was the one place that offered an affordable, authentic Vegas experience and treated the working man like family. But that warm glow is gone. Today, the stark reality is that the dependable old friend we once knew has been replaced by a corporation. Instead of a welcoming smile at the front desk, you are now herded toward rows of cold, glitchy self-check-in kiosks. You are hit with daily resort fees that exceed $40 for amenities that barely exist. You walk down hallways that reek of stale cigarettes and cost-cutting. Why would a 50-year icon turn its back on the generation that built it? I have combed through thousands of verified guest reviews from 2024 and 2025 to find the truth. And what I found was not just a decline, it feels like a complete betrayal. If you want to protect your retirement money from hidden fees and understand what is really happening to the Vegas we loved, you need to see this. Here are the 3 fatal flaws that are destroying the Harrah's legend, starting with flaw number 3, the disastrous welcome. The first impression that hit me walking into Harrah's was not the sparkling lights or cheerful music, but a sea of exhausted travelers, herded like cattle around the check-in counters. And this was not just my own bad luck. Thousands of frustrated guests have vented their fury on travel forums about the same nightmare. Endless lines stretching from 45 minutes to over an hour. This is especially true after 4 p.m., when you should be resting after a long flight, but are instead forced to stand stranded on unforgiving, hard-tile floors. Harrah's constantly promotes its convenient self-service kiosks, but in reality, they are a slap in the face to paying customers. Based on direct observation and numerous reports from trusted sources, nearly half of these machines are regularly out of order or out of service. The result? Older guests struggling with heavy luggage are funneled into a single line to wait in vain. When you look toward the front desk, your anger will truly ignite. Amidst hundreds of exhausted people, only 3 agents are working at a snail's pace, while 5 other counters sit dark and cold. This is ironclad proof of Caesar's profits over people policy, cutting staff to the bone to save every last penny on wages. But the most painful part is right next to it. The check-in lane for VIP, 7 stars guests is completely empty, red-carpeted but devoid of a single soul. That contrast serves as a cruel reminder that if you are not a high roller, you are treated like a second-class citizen here. Many believe Caesars deliberately creates this bottleneck during peak hours to squeeze tired guests into paying an extra $25 to $60 for an early check-in fee, a calculated cash grab. And when you finally drag yourself to the counter, do not expect a warm welcome. The employees here, who are also victims of being overworked, only have enough energy to function like machines. No greeting, no eye contact. When I politely requested a room on a high, quiet floor, the answer I received was a cold head shake, telling me the computer has already chosen the room. You are no longer a valued guest. You are just a transaction number to be processed and dismissed. A rude welcome is shameful enough. But if you think waiting an hour is torture, just wait until you see what is waiting for you behind the bedroom door. This brings us to the second fatal flaw, a truth that is far more disturbing. Fatal flaw number 2, the forgotten room. Leaving the main lobby, the journey to my room in the mountain tower felt like entering a neglected zone. Reviews from 2025 on Trip.com confirm this smell of old smoke and damp air is common, particularly in older towers like Mountain, with about 20 to 30% of reviews mentioning the issue, especially on lower floors. Although public hallways are non-smoking, the odor lingers. The wallpaper in some places showed signs of peeling, and the carpet was worn. While TripAdvisor reviews note worn or dirty carpets in older hallways, descriptions of unidentifiable dark stains might be an exaggeration. To be fair, the $200 million renovation package in 2024 has fixed up many areas, but clearly not all of them. The moment I opened the door, a mixed odor of mustiness and cheap air freshener hit me in the face. This room was clearly from an unrenovated batch, a theme appearing in about 25 to 40% of 1 to 3-star reviews. The dark wood furniture was covered in scratches and a layer of dust. A specific Trip.com review in 2025 described this exact condition, noting scratched furniture and faded carpet that felt slightly sticky. Although Harrah's overall cleanliness rating is 8.5 out of 10, it drops to just 6 or 7 out of 10 in the older rooms. Upon closer inspection, I found a few stray hairs on the bed sheets and a small, hard-to-see stain. This is a sporadic issue, noted in about 5 to 10% of negative reviews, often forcing guests to request a room change and wait an additional 30 to 60 minutes. But the most horrifying discovery was yet to come. When I pulled out the desk chair, a dead cockroach was lying on its back right underneath. This is not a complete exaggeration. Though extremely rare, appearing in only 2 to 5% of low-rated cases, reports of cockroaches in the room are real. A Trip.com review from August 2025 recounted a guest who had to change rooms twice for the same issue. The bathroom was no better, with black mold spotting in the tile grout and a lime-scaled showerhead, a detail confirmed in many reviews from both Vietnamese and international guests in the 2024 to 2025 period, especially in the not fully renovated Valley and Mountain Towers. However, it must be stated clearly that this assessment contains an element of exaggeration. Not all rooms are forgotten. The truth is, booking a room at Harrah's is like playing the lottery. The newly renovated towers, like the Tower Premium, renovated in 2024, receive high praise. Many YouTubers in 2025 have called it the best stay experience post-construction, praising the modern and clean rooms. This creates a sharp polarization in reviews. On TripAdvisor, Harrah's has over 30,000 reviews with an average score of 4.0 out of 5, but 25% of those are harsh complaints giving 1 star for cleanliness, contrasting with 50% praising the location and value. This severe inconsistency is due to the hotel's 50-plus-year age in piecemeal renovations. Many guests report that spending an extra $60 per night for an attraction view room is the only way to ensure they do not fall into this lottery. Finding a dead cockroach indicates gross negligence in cleaning. This is unacceptable for a major hotel on the Strip. It is not just a disappointment, it is a serious hygiene issue. The horrifying truth is not in one cockroach, but in what it represents. It is a symptom of a deeper disease that is eating away at this entire establishment. This brings us to the core flaw. Fatal flaw number 1, the collapse of a brand. Harrah's problem is deeper than a dirty room. It is a widespread lack of strategic investment, a direct consequence of the financial pressures on its parent company, Caesars Entertainment. After the acquisition by Eldorado Resorts in 2020, Caesars took on a massive amount of debt, reaching $11.9 billion in the third quarter of 2025. This burden has forced the corporation to implement aggressive cost-cutting policies across its entire portfolio to pay down the debt. The domino effect starts here. The corporation's debt pressure leads to budget cuts for maintenance and staffing at lower-tier properties like Harrah's. Financial data shows that Caesars' Las Vegas revenue decreased to $952 million in the third quarter of 2025, and its adjusted EBITDA margin also fell from 34.8% to 30.8% year over year. These numbers indirectly confirm what customers are feeling, that staff are exhausted due to understaffing, facilities are deteriorating, and the customer experience is the final victim. However, calling this a complete collapse might be an overstatement. With an EBITDA profit of $884 million in the third quarter, Caesars shows it is still recovering, but that recovery appears to be paid for by the legacy of brands like Harrah's. Second, there is an identity crisis. Harrah's is charging resort fees of around $45 to $50 a night, on par with mid-range resorts like the Mirage or Park MGM, but delivering the service and amenities of a budget hotel. About 20% of negative reviews complain about this. It is not luxurious enough to compete with high-end resorts like Bellagio, but its hidden fees make budget-conscious travelers feel deceived. With room rates fluctuating between $100 to $200 plus fees, Harrah's is stuck in the middle, trying to serve everyone and ultimately satisfying no one. This decline extends to the casino floor. Although it still has energy, the air is often thick with smoke, even with non-smoking areas. 2025 reviews frequently mention waiting 20 to 45 minutes just for a cocktail server to find you, a clear sign of understaffing. The dining options, despite the presence of Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill, are largely safe and generic chains like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse or Wahlburgers. It all reinforces one truth: Harrah's has lost its soul to serve its parent company's balance sheet. The final verdict. So after all of it, from the long lines to the dated room, and even the cockroach, what is the final verdict? The sad truth at Harrah's is not about a single cockroach, but about an iconic brand that is losing itself because of business decisions made at the very top. Is the cheap price worth the trade-off? For me, the answer is no. The money saved cannot compensate for the frustration and the hygiene risk. Your vacation is too precious to bet on a lottery where you do not know if you will get a new room or a forgotten relic. Unless there is a complete management overhaul and a strong commitment to reinvestment, I cannot recommend Harrah's. It is no longer a reliable choice. It is a gamble, and the odds do not seem to be in your favor. It is sad to see an icon like Harrah's in this state, but it is a reminder that in Vegas, a reputation does not last forever. To help you plan your next trip, check out my upcoming video where I will highlight affordable hotels that are actually worth the money. If this kind of honest analysis is helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss it.